guys can hear me, just give me a second. Be right back. Yo guys, back again. I hope everyone is good. If there's anyone in here yet, I am just getting set up here. I definitely should have done this beforehand, but I'm always doing this, leaving it to the last second. But that's all good. I'll just allow some time for people to potentially roll in. But if not, we'll just kind of get going once I've finished doing a little bit of setup stuff, just to kind of make things run a bit more smoothly. So just bear with me. So cool. So building out pages, and let me just I need to fix a few things with the chat as well, I believe. Okay, that's fine. Bot relay mode, okay. I'll turn that off for now. Okay, cool. I think we're good. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so okay, I'm just creating a few tasks, just because it's kind of, yeah, it helps me to kind of scaffold things out and decide what I'm going to do at each point, and just kind of stay on track as well. Because obviously, you know, when we had people in the chat yesterday, which was really nice to kind of, yeah, have a few people chatting and stuff. And there's always a tendency to kind of stray off from the sort of goals of the stream, or like whatever I'm trying to get done. So it's kind of nice just to have something to pull myself back in. But what I'll do, I'll switch over to the other screen. So let's drag this over. So today we're essentially kind of like building out pages. I think it's probably, I'm not sure what I'll title it, but yeah, we're essentially kind of building out, we're starting to build out our homepage. So in the last stream yesterday, I was giving some project updates, and one of the things I was saying was that, we've kind of, I don't think I've actually even presented the timeline yet, but I've sort of given myself a timeline now, just a rough idea of kind of when I want to have this project finished, and that's on my Zen Hub. We'll look at that in a minute. But so now I've kind of got a bit more of like a structure and a nice bit of pressure as well for a deadline to work towards. So for this week, by the end of the week, the aim is to have the homepage built out at least. So that's kind of like the aim for like the minimum is to have that. Hopefully, we can get a bit more done. But today what we're going to be doing is build page container essentially. So I actually would probably be better off. Let me just duplicate that for one moment. If we go down to, I think it's somewhere in my notes, I've got this features kind of list. And what I've done about, and I quite like this feature in Notion with like the kind of drop down arrows where you can essentially like hide content within content. And what it does, it creates this really nice way to basically have all these different sections that are just hidden like in these arrows. So it keeps things like looking neat where you need it to be, and then you can obviously just drop things down. But for me, it's helped a lot to visually sort of look at how the site is essentially going to be structured in terms of like our top level routes. So our homepage, about, projects, like blog, like these are going to be our sort of top level routes, which we'll obviously have access to in the Navbar. And then like within those, we have like the features that are going to be on each page. We can split them up into sections, which then have their own little features or considerations about those features. That's kind of what this thing is, essentially. And yeah, I suppose sort of tying it back into what we're going to be doing for each of these top level pages, like home, about, projects, and blog. To an extent, there's certain things that we're going to have across pages, like thinking about the whole reusability thing, not reinventing the wheel. And essentially that would be like the kind of hamburger thing, right? How you've got like the header or like navbar, the main section, and then the footer. So we are kind of trying to adopt that today. So essentially we're going to build out like the navbar and the footer and have that sort of have it as a wrapper around every route that we go to, and we'll create a container component to do that. And we're gonna so that's kind of the key thing today. So I'll just close that off now. So build page container, or like wrapper, I don't really know what I want to call it. So that's kind of like the key thing. Build navbar, which is obviously going to be contained in that. Build footer, of course, and just trying to think. And then I'm just going to say create page routes, which essentially all it's going to be is just creating so those top level components we looked at before. It's just going to be a case of creating a route for each of those, and maybe just having displaying like the actual name. So on the about page, just have like some text that says about or something like that. Nothing too crazy, but we'll see how we get along. And there's probably maybe some other considerations we might need to take into account, but for now we'll just kind of leave it there, and we'll kind of just get building. I've still got my storybook environment open from yesterday, so let me just close that up. And yeah, that's cool. So yeah, this is what our repo is looking at the moment. Yesterday I mentioned that we're adopting the Git feature branch workflow. So essentially we've got the master or main branch sitting at the top, which is always in production, and then sitting a level below that we've got this development branch, which as we can see we're on right now. And this is kind of where the kind of integration happens, where we sort of test things. This is where like pull requests will get reviewed. Like this is that kind of branch where things will get merged in before getting pushed up to the master branch, which is obviously, like I said, always in production. So this is kind of where testing happens, that kind of environment essentially. And then below development, we have all of the features that just kind of spring off of that. So if I want to develop a new feature, we're going to pull from development and essentially start working on that feature. So that's the kind of idea, and obviously we'll make sure that development always yeah, is always reflecting what we have on the master branch, essentially. So we've got this kind of consistent, streamlined workflow that's also kind of safe, and can hopefully give us just a little added layer of security, so that if things are like breaking, we can catch that in development and make any necessary fixes before merging that into the production. So that's the general workflow that we're going for here on this project. And what I actually want to do for this now, because we are building out a feature, is I'm going to create a new branch. So I believe it's git check. It's been a while since I've done this. I think git checkout-b is going to create us a new branch and check out to that branch, so it will move us to that branch. And I believe the common kind of naming convention for this is like a feature and then a slash, whatever that feature is. So what's the feature? Well, I suppose we can put this like under, I could put create page routes, but I guess we're creating the wrapper. So what would I want it to be under? I didn't really think about this before. It's not really that important, but I feel like it's kind of good to have some consistency here with, because if I'm building out pages later on, I kind of want to have a clear history of how things have been done. Oh, just checking out my Twitch there, and got a bit of duplication, but we're all good. Okay, so we can just say git checkout-b feature slash, let's do, we can put this under the home page. I think should be fine. Or create home page. So just like that, it's just separated with a dash, and yeah, we'll just run with that. Okay, so what we've done is we've now created this new branch and we switched to it. So we're now on feature slash create homepage, and we can get going with this. And what I need to do is, we've got React icons, which is lovely. Okay, I was just making sure we had all the dependencies that we at least need for this part of things. So what I'm going to do is just have a little bit of coffee before I start. Okay. So, excuse me. Hope this is not too loud. I think it should be alright. Let me get the tunes up and running. I swear my eyesight is just like not great right now. I can't see what I'm looking for. Seems like my Spotify window has disappeared, which is very interesting. Unless one moment. Yeah, it just doesn't want to pick it up. Okay. I'm having to squint at the screen. Okay. There you go. Cool. All right. So we're now on this branch now. So yeah, let's get creating this homepage. Well, essentially creating the container first. I think what I'm going to do first of all is set up the page routes, and because this would be the most straightforward thing. But before I do that, I'm just going to start up our development server, just so that we can show some things. So let's follow that link, and we're getting something come through here. Okay, that looks all right. Right, okay, so this is what our page is looking like right now. This is our home page. We've got light and dark mode set up. All of that stuff was done in the past streams. Anyone that's just joining now and is interested in sort of how I've got to this point, feel free to check those out. But yeah, let's get into this page routing. So at the moment, as we have it, we've got this pages folder, and we've got this index.js and this app.js. So app.js, this is basically like the most top level component essentially, which obviously renders out our entire site or app. So essentially, like, this component represents all of the components that we'll have in maybe what you could look at as like a tree of components, and we just wrap that in our chakra provider, which gives us access to this theme, gives us access to the light and dark mode. And so, you know, that's what that is. And then we've got the index.js, which is equivalent to, you know, just the default homepage. So whatever, you know, my site would be, I actually have this deployed to my domain. So gregogun.com. So like literally it's on whatever that slash is, maybe not that. So like that will redirect here. So this is home. This is like what the user will first see if they're just to go to that default, default URL. So what we can do with this page. So yeah, the way Next.js works with pages is that each kind of essentially, it's because obviously, you know, we identify these as components in React, but under the pages it is a component, but like it's also your like that individual route. So for anyone that's not familiar with this, I'll demonstrate it. So like I said, we've got our home, so we don't have to be concerned with that because that's what index.js is. But let's say we want an about page, so about.js, and what I can do is literally just, I can't remember if I need to export default. Yeah, we can do it that way. Or to be honest, like the way I'm most used to doing it is just const about equals this arrow function, which returns, oh no, I'm just gonna say a heading, which says about. Simple as that. I'm just gonna export default about AB. I didn't know that was a sorry, excuse me. I can save that, and pretty is gonna do its thing. Okay, so it's very simple. And so what happens now is that if we go to /about, let's give it a second. Now you can see about up there in the top corner. It's very small, so maybe we might want to like actually, I'll show you what we can do, which would be cool. So remember what we can do here, like we did on this page, now that we set up. So again, for anyone that's unsure of what we're doing, we set up some text variants and things like that, just to allow us to dynamically add props in here and have the text respond to that, rather than just create an entire new component. So I put it so it's as a h1, but now if I change the variant to h1, you can see the size now gets bigger. So that's cool. So we can save that. What I'm going to do is take all of that and copy it. We're going to apply it again. So I mentioned before our top level routes, which I have been, like looking at through this file. So we've got a home page, so we've got about, so next we've got projects, and then we'll have the blog page. So let's get that set up. So next on the list is to create projects. We might do something different with projects at some point, so this might not stay this way, and I'll explain that probably at a later point. Same thing with blogs as well. Okay, so we've got, actually that was not the smartest thing to do. What I probably should have done is this. So for anyone that doesn't know about the shortcut in VS Code, if you want to highlight multiple things with the same name, you just hit Control D. I'm not sure if it's Command D on Mac. Don't quote me on it, but I'm going to guess it's probably something like that. And you can just select multiple instances of that same letter, word, whatever. And I can change this now to projects. And it just updates in 3 places at once. So it's, yeah. And I can save that. And then if I now go to /projects, we've now got projects, right? And then we'll just do the same thing for blogs. Or should I say blog.js? Sorry, not blogs, blog.js, my bad. And then same thing again. And so we can go now to blog and just check that that's all good. Okay, lovely. So let me just check the chat and make sure I haven't missed anything. Because I feel like I do definitely have a habit of getting carried away with what I'm doing and forgetting to check if anyone's popping in. Okay, cool. Cool, okay. So right, so now that we've got those initial kind of route set up, what I can just do now is kind of try and follow this incremental, yeah, I suppose, is it incremental? Is that the right word? Or frequent commit, yeah, this like adopt this frequent commits kind of idea. So yeah, it's icons. Okay, so that didn't get done. Oh, that's fine. Well, we can do that on this. We can push this on this. Okay, so I'm just gonna oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, unlock. What I'm gonna do is just quickly make a commit to for the added dependency. So I'll just put it down as a chore. And again, if you're interested in what I'm doing here, check some previous streams. I'm using conventional commits. For me, it's just a kind of way to organize my commits and see what's happening in a more clearer fashion to me. And just because it's quicker than writing commits. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this helps me to focus on like what's important, and also it helps me to commit more frequently, because you have to kind of because obviously there's very specific things that you can assign on here, and it kind of helps you just to actually make commits where you've just got that singular, or maybe like 1 or 2 concerns that maybe can couple together. But it kind of is in within the same context. I feel like it just helps to not do like lots of work and then just commit that and have to break things up. Obviously here I'm kind of having to split things up a little bit, but yeah, it definitely does. I find it promotes, for me anyway, personally, my experience has been that it does promote more frequent commits using conventional commits. So yeah, I'm a fan. So this is added dependency. So add or update a dependency. No, not documentation. So yes, add a dependency. I'm just going to say install React icons. Okay, we're all good there. Okay, and now for the rest of them, we can just do that, hit that, and so let me think of what this goes down as. There's always certain things that I'm just not really sure I'd put down as a commit message, but yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Oh, look at me there. I'm just checking my Discord. It's a nice, lovely screenshot of me there. Okay. Yeah, it's sorry. I'm just checking my Discord announcements. I'm basically using a couple of webhooks to generate some announcements whenever I go live, and they seem to always like come in at weird times. So like on the last stream, the Twitch one seemed to come in at the right time. Well, no, I think that one came in. So I think the Twitch one comes in when the stream is finished, and I think the YouTube one comes in when you start it. So that's good, because that wasn't working yesterday. So I seem to fix that, which is great. Okay, cool. I'm just curious. Cool. So yeah, let's just we're just going to add it as part of a feature because essentially it is. We are adding pages. So so let's begin a project. I should have had that earlier on. We have anything around like pages? Let's just say we've introduced a new feature. So add page routes. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's all committed. Okay, so we're all good there. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you guys. And what I'll do is just bring that down a little bit as well. And push this in. I'm actually going to bring this in as well a bit. Let's get more code. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay, that's better. Bear with me. Okay, so all of our page routes are set up. If I wasn't trying to kind of get through this a bit more with a bit more speed, then I would kind of set up, you know, some arrows, maybe some links that like allow you to just link to the different pages. But I mean, we're going to set that. We'll try and set that up anyway. So we'll leave that for now. For now, we'll just kind of navigate using the slash. But as we've seen, we've got everything coming through all right, so that's all good. That's all we really need for now. So what we're going to look at next now is the sort of main, I suppose the main aspect of this, which is creating this container. And as I mentioned, this is, you know, where we'll be able to allow ourselves to have this page wrapper where we've got the navbar and the footer displayed on every page, and we don't have to you know, do any duplication of code there. We just have to write it once and essentially pass in the pages as children to the container, and then that way we have this navbar and footer on every single route that the app touches, which is nice. Very nice dynamic way to do things. So let's look at that. We're going to set this up as a component. And I don't really know what type of component I would like it to be. I think let's just set it up as a component itself. We're going to call it container J, or wrapper. We'll go with container. Can I just... I'm gonna call it container.js. And I have this weird thing where I don't like writing on the first line. I have to always like, I don't know if it's just me. Probably is, to be honest. Because, well, I suppose in my head it's like, well, that's reserved for imports. So, but yeah, I don't know. So let's create our container. So const container equals, and obviously gonna want to return some stuff. So I think the first thing we're going to want to return is probably the head, I think. Also, by the way, you know, I'm going to be completely honest here, just because it's a bit easy for me to kind of see how this is going. I've been following, so earlier on I was kind of looking at Lee Rob's, big shout out to him, by the way. He inspired a lot of why I'm doing this project, and I took his course in learning Next.js called Learn Next.js, which I highly recommend for anyone that's interested, or maybe you want to get a bit more of an idea of the features that Next.js offers. So check it out. And what I've been doing, I've just been looking at sort of what he's done for his portfolio project, you know, the way he structured things. And I always had the idea to do the container thing, and I'd kind of guessed he'd done it. So I've been looking at how he's done it. And yeah, it seems pretty helpful and straightforward. So yeah, I'm just kind of checking out that repo right now. And so here, looking at it, you know, we've got this container that returns this div that's got so yeah, we've got the head, which is the first thing, and then all these meta tags. We'll get into that in a bit, I think. But for now, yeah, we can I mean, actually, you know, we can tackle it now. Like, that's kind of fine. I'm gonna kind of just do the basic stuff for it, because there's a lot in there that I haven't really got much experience with. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, we're gonna render a box. We could render a div if we wanted to, but we'll render a box. Like, that's cool. So that's, and by the way, a box just renders a div in Chakra UI. So yeah, and then inside this, I think, do we import head from next head? I believe we do. Let's do that. I'm just going to look at this for, yeah, it's just head. Okay, that's cool. Yes, import from. So we don't need all this. It's not a named export. Oh. Right. So what we can do before this return is do some stuff. So the first thing, as you can see on here, is created like all of these things. But what we're interested right now is in this meta, in these meta tags. So no. That's better. So what we want to say is const meta equals, so it's going to be an object that has a few different things on it. So title, description, we have an image. Oh, my bad. And type. you can see on the right there's like a custom meta thing, but I'm not really sure about all that stuff yet. So I'm going to leave it for now. That's definitely something to come back to, and we can make an issue on there to like update that on the Zen Hub. So for now, let's just kind of stick with straightforward things. And so yeah, we can kind of just start taking some content from our Notion file. So in Notion, I've created, so I mentioned the features. I've actually also created like this content page, basically, where we've got all the different parts of content that I might have in each bit. So this is already all thought out and pre-written and stuff like that. So once we're in this, all of these ideas were just for that. Once I get into the code, we don't have to think about this much stuff. We can just kind of get straight on with things and just do some copy and pasting as far as content goes. So yeah, I don't really know much about like the length of meta tags and whether, you know, there's a certain limit that's better for like SEO, to be honest. So we'll kind of go along the lines of yeah, we'll just keep it real simple for now. We can always kind of update this later. So I'm just going to give like a basic. Hey, is that Matai? How's it going, man? Yeah, no, apologies. I'm still setting that stuff up. Yeah, I think for now I'm going to probably have to manually. I'm going to have to manually do it. So yeah, apologies for that. Yeah, I was kind of mentioning earlier in the stream, I've set up some webhooks to kind of catch when the stream goes live. But I think I've realized with the webhook I've got running into the Discord announcements, I believe for Twitch anyway, I think it uploads or it updates once the stream is over. So I need to figure out a way to do it when the stream goes live. Because I'm just looking now at the stream from the other day, and I think it did it at the end instead of at the beginning. So I'm gonna have to look into sort of that timing and getting it to run at the right time, basically. Because yeah, really, it should have updated at the beginning, but yeah, it just didn't do that. Right. I'm gonna say, just for now, let's just keep it real simple. So I say front end developer, right? And then here we can give a bit more context and maybe say something like self-taught. Actually, you know what? We can just kind of grab some of this content and yeah, let's just grab that for now. So let's just do that. Cool, and then image, we don't have one as of yet. We'll get that in there in a minute. I think I'll probably sort that out. And then type website. So just a bit of SEO context and stuff. And one moment, just drag that. Okay. Cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I need to get so in this public folder, what we're going to do is just create a static folder which can contain our images, basically. Yeah, cool. And then actually what I'm going to do as well, just for later on, is to create a folder for favicons, because we're going to have to, we'll just move those in there. Cool, so separate those concerns. So in this static folder, you want to create maybe an images folder, of which we can then create, I don't know why I'm trying to create a new file. I need to drag the file in. So let's grab some stuff from the file system. Right. And I think that should be cool. Yeah. I'm just going to drag this in as is right now, but obviously there are definitely thoughts around optimization right now. This is just like a little banner thing that I use for my YouTube and stuff. I'll just put it on, in here for now, and I'll probably rename that as well. I'll just remove this space. Well, actually, let's just call it a banner. Okay, I haven't spelled that correctly. That's better. Okay, so what we can do now in here is basically reference a path to that. So what I have to do is, so this will be like once we, I believe it should be something like this, slash static slash images slash banner.png, and that should be all right. So that's cool. And let's set up some meta stuff. So I'm going to bring back this thing, and we just kind of, we can kind of just copy and paste some stuff here. Just because, yeah, oh yeah, we need to have a title element in here. And so that's going to be meta.title. And then we can start to like just copy and paste a few things in. So description. Yeah, these things I'm not really sure about, so I'm going to leave those here. Something I definitely still need to like read into for sure. I think for now, like that. We can even read about this actually. I've got it somewhere. So yeah, next head examples. Yeah, it's like viewport, meta.
That just as you don't know.
So okay.
How you manage to grow and shape this body of yours. That doesn't mean to say that you're not doing it.
That's cool.
Equally, you don't know.
Right. Okay. So
The universe shines the stars, constellates the constellation, and galactifies
well, let's
the galaxies you don't know.
maybe leave things as is for now, and then we can come back and always change things later.
In just the same way as you're breathing
But yeah, okay, so that's the head kind of sorted out now. To a description, cool. Okay, and now we can kind of get on to building the rest of this container component, essentially. So yeah, let's kind of get onto that, and then so yeah, we need a basically need a skip button, and let's not get too ahead of ourselves right now. Actually, I need to make way for. Don't know what's happened to our site actually. Okay, there we go. Right, do we need that right now? Not really. So what we can do, I'm just gonna actually let's preview what we can do here. This is gonna be a really basic example, but this is just to show the idea that we can have around creating this container. So I'm just gonna create this center component, and essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take in children. And what we need to do is that at the top level, we need to make sure that we allow children to be passed in as a prop, otherwise this does not work. So this now allows whatever consumes this opponent, whatever page consumes this component, allows whatever is passed into the container to be displayed with all of this stuff surrounding it. So you know, it will have this center prop around it. And obviously what this does, this is the same as if you were to do a display grid and place item center. Basically it just centers whatever content is inside it, basically. But it only kind of works if you've got, I believe it works anyway, if you have like one piece of content. Like, I don't know if this works with like multiple, or I suppose it would work with multiple things, but it would just kind of maybe stack it in the same way that like a display block kind of thing would work. But yeah, don't quote me on that because I haven't used it. I mean, the way I've always used it is this idea of just having one element inside another. And if anyone's kind of curious about the whole display grid place items trick, Una Kravitz has like a really cool post about it. I can't remember what like one line of CSS or something like that. She basically has this. So that's it. 10 modern layouts in one line of CSS. I'd say check it out because there's some really like nice handy stuff. And yeah, it's one of the first ones. It just like centers whatever's in it basically. And I've literally ever since I found out about that, I've used it so much because it's just come in handy so many times where you just need one thing that's going inside another thing, and you want to center it without having to do, you know, align items or all of the other jazz that we have to do to get something to align centrally. So we've got this center, and what I'm going to do is just make the width not 10, just 100% of the view width. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, that's right. Make that 100% of the view height. So what we can do is save that now. And what we can actually do now is we can come back to these components. So let's start with blog, just as we're already showing it right now, so we can see the difference like straight away. So if I go and just close all the public stuff down and go and open our pages, go to blog.js. Now what I can do is just quickly get rid of that. I can actually just bring in this container. And we have one in Chakra UI, which is great. That's not where we want it to come from. Can we call it? No? Okay, well, we can't right now. That's all right, I'll just use an import. So from... I also want to look at doing the, I can't remember what it's called. It was a tip, and this was a tip that Lee Robinson gave about how you can basically have this like centralized way to access your components with like this at kind of syntax. We'll look into that in a bit. I don't want to spend too much time kind of getting sidetracked. But anyway, we can go to this container component, and now we can just call container from it. So what we can do is have this container, and then we can have that. Save it. Failed to compile because it said import error. Okay. Oh, I forgot to export the container. My bad. There we go. That should work. Just give me one moment, guys. I will be right back. Right, apologies. So let's save that up, and that should correct itself. So as you can see now, we've got blog. It's now in the center, right? So that's cool. That's what we wanted. So we know that the container is now working how it should be. And what's nice is that we can go and put this around all of our components. So if we go to like about, and obviously we've got this thing that we can do, the emit abbreviations, but I don't know if it's gonna. No, it's not. That's fine though. Let's see if we can get this to import here. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. So if we navigate now to about, ooh, we'll get the same thing. That's working. Then obviously with projects, we haven't got that working yet, have we? So projects is still up here. But if we go over to projects and do the same thing, will it work down here? I think it's got to be the top. Yeah, it's got to be the top level one. That's fine. So the quickest way I know how to do this, right? And there we go. Projects is also where we want it to be. And if you guys have noticed yet, you probably haven't. We're obviously not getting our font in here, and the reason why, because if we go back to our main site, so obviously we've got our Sora font coming through here, but not anywhere else, and that the reason why is because of this font source thing. So what we want to do is actually import these fonts into that. Also, we don't need next head here anymore, I believe. Oh, okay, so we've got it in our okay, so we've got it in our thing here. Cool. So actually we can take this favicon thing and we can put this in our container, I believe. So let's just go and pop that in here. Yeah, so what we can do with the index.js, so we can actually just remove the head now. Don't need next head from here anymore. Ooh. And let's see what else. So essentially what we want is that we want, you know, this container also to wrap home, but we can deal with that later, because right now obviously we've got this under construction page going on, so we can leave this for now. We'll come back to this in a little bit, and I'm actually trying to round off here quite soon. I think we're reaching an hour, yeah, so I'm going to round off and then we can tackle more in tomorrow's stream. I'm going to aim to probably do a bit more, maybe like up to 2 hours or something. Yeah, let's just save all of this stuff up quickly. So what I'm gonna do, well, actually, well, I suppose, do you know what we can do actually, I've decided, is we can actually just do the same thing for our home page. So essentially what we want to do though is I'm just trying to think of the best way to kind of approach how we might build out our container, because essentially where we want it to get to is essentially having, you know, if we forget about like this and this, right? If I just grab both of those and turn the eyes off, and is that right? No, that's the wrong thing. So essentially this and this, essentially that can wrap around all of our pages. So maybe at this point a good sort of place to go would be to think about obviously creating these things as their own components. So yeah, let's have a look at that. Okay. Or like, could we just, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just and I'm saying this because I've actually been, you know, doing a lot of research and reading up a lot on composing React components, and quite a common theme that's been coming up, especially I've been going through like a lot of Kent C. Dodd stuff, and he says a lot around, you know, trying not to fall into the habit of like early abstractions, for the sake that, like, obviously it's nice to like modularize your code and make things super modular and have all these different components and stuff, but obviously the problem we can run into is you've obviously now split this logic into all these different places, and sometimes mapping like looking at the flow of your application becomes difficult, because now you've got all these different modules that you're having to jump through to find like this piece of state maybe that's past a certain level down because you've broken things out before you actually needed to. So I've done that before, and personally I've felt the pains of that in projects I've built before, and so the approach with this actually is going to be one in which I'll essentially have longer return statements, which is and I think the thing that pushed me away from doing this, because you know, this was when I was working with Chakra UI as well, was because of this inline CSS here. You know, the more and more you build out these components and the return gets longer, obviously it gets a lot longer because of the amount of inline CSS. Like without that, things were a lot clearer for me personally anyway. So I think it becomes kind of like a question of, and this is why I kind of set up, like for the heading and for the text, like this is why I set up variants, so that all of this CSS that is that we're concerned with each kind of different heading or text style that's abstracted away from us in this theme folder. So like here we've got our typography.js. All like everything we need regarding our text is in this file right here. So we've defined it somewhere that's away from, you know, where we're going to be working a lot with that text. And so the ease that gives us is that we just need to pass in this variant and everything else is done for us, like literally. So you know, this is the kind of idea with this project, is to try and that's why, again, like I said in like previous streams, is that's why the design has been thought about a lot in this, because a lot of what we do in terms of setting up the theme and setting up these design tokens and reusable components is going to reduce the amount of props we're actually having to pass in at this level. Of course we have to, you know, pass in certain props that's, you know, say if we've got a primary button, whether we want that to be primary or secondary, you know, we can change that, but that's just one thing, right? We don't have to go in and manually put, like, we want, you know, the border radius to be like this, and, you know, that's all kind of taken care of. And so just a quick note on that, because I think it's quite an important thing. And what I'm going to do now actually is something kind of crazy. I'm just going to get rid of this. Yes, I did it. I did that. Container component. So let's firstly create a navbar. So what I'm going to do, and let's create our navbar. Oh. So what we want to do is return a flexbox. So we want to return okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to no, wrong place. wrong place. So what I'm going to do actually is just do similar to what I had in the other things. I'm going to have a heading. Okay, I'm not spelling that correctly. And I figured out how we're going to sort of do this. So I'm going to have a sort of heading here like that. And I can't do that because I need to put text in it. I'm just going to say home page. And we're going to use, we can use that as prop and as h1 and variant h1. So let's have a look at this difference now. Okay, homepage looks good. Okay, and what we can do now, we're going to use this as like our, I mean, look at all that, just got rid of all of those imports. We're going to use this as like our way to kind of style the container. So we could use any page to do this, because every page is now consuming this container component. But we're just going to use home. So let's jump into container.js and we'll do a little setting up of the navbar, and then I think we'll call it a night and sort of attempt to go for this tomorrow. So let's have a look here. Sorry, apologies if I'm really quiet. I'm trying to keep my voice down because I think people at home have gone to bed now. So yeah, it's just gone past 11 here in the UK, so it's a bit late. I'm going to aim to get on a bit earlier tomorrow, so yeah, hopefully things won't be so late. I've also got quite an early shift in the morning, so good luck to me. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is actually just get rid of this center thing. What we want to wrap around our content is to have all of it off each page, essentially. It would, I think the best thing would be to have a main, like some kind of like main around it. I'm gonna look for reference at Lee Robs. Yes, as you can see here, the children are down here, and yeah, they do exist inside this main, and so they've got like a footer under it, so that kind of makes sense actually. Yeah, that makes total sense. So what we might want to do here is something. Sorry. So what we can actually just do here is we can do a main. We can do boxes main. I'm just trying to think of any properties that we might want to put on it. So what I'm going to do, just because we might want to add some chakra properties to this, I'm just going to have it as a box for now, so that we have access to that. Because the second that we make that a main, like a small, like I'm trying to think of what Chantastic, the guy at React Podcast, calls it. I think it says small I and big I components, but the small I component of main, so like the small main, which is like the HTML main, once we change it to that, we don't have access to like these nice CSS shorthands like W and H and a couple of other nice things that Chakra offers you. So it's not a big thing, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter that much if we don't use it, because we can just put we can use this as prop Chakra UI components that allows us to essentially delegate that role. But it isn't even a role, it's like this thing actually renders as this. So what we can actually do as well is actually we can inspect this just to like actually prove this point that you know, this does happen. So as you can see, it's gone back up to the top because we're no longer using this center component that centers everything. So that's why this has gone back up to the top. But what we can do is we can look at the HTML and we can prove here that that's not an area role. Okay, so let's look at how I can find, well, let's just use the inspect. So as you can see, it renders as main. So it's not like div role main, like it does actually render as main. So, you know, it's semantically correct. And that's a great thing about Chakra is that you can do this. And like I said, it's the added benefit of obviously having this box that renders a div at first, and then once you use that as prop, it then will change that to actually being like semantically correct. So it will be main, but yet we still have access to Chakra props and shorthands and all the nice stuff that it offers you. So we've now got basically this box. So we've got this main box that wraps things. What we're going to want to do, we can just create like a very simple footer here. And just thinking of how I might want to compose things. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of, I don't know if it's the conventional way, because most of the time I see people kind of doing this at the top, but I just, I'm going to do footer first. I kind of just like to compose these things out of the way. So what I can do here is return, let me return a heading that says footer. Let's just make the variant like, I don't know, like a H3 or something. And what we can now do is actually just put it under, oh, is it not liking me? There you go. Okay, so that might look like, okay, what's he doing? But essentially, like, once we have content in there that, you know, we're sure that that's going to render under like the children, which obviously again could be anything in a page. So as we build this out, we'll get a better idea of like how this is gonna look basically. So that's all working nicely. So I'm going to leave that as is for now. Tomorrow we'll obviously build that out a bit more. What I want to do right now is just get a little bit into this navbar. So what I can do is create a navbar, and we can create the navbar, I believe, probably above. And again, just looking for reference on the best way to do things like this. And also, we need to create a skip to content button, which I'm actually going to bring over from my other project, because I found a nice implementation with the correct CSS to do that. So yeah, we can do that as well. Right. So, excuse me. Keep hitting this mic. It's like just all in my space. Let me just move it around a bit. Right, that's better. Cool. So I feel like I'm going to switch up the playlist actually a little bit. Nice. So, okay, let's create this navbar. Once navbar equals, then we can just return like a flex. So essentially what we're going to have is this like flex, and what I'm going to do at this point is just bring it in here. Okay, and what we can do now is we can actually just look at Figma, and this is what I like to do, and I think I would really encourage like anyone, even if you're not designing things, but I would say if you have an idea of how this like thing is going to look, especially where you're using something like Flexbox, I'd say try and map it out in your head first if you can, but if you've got a design to go off, that's even better. So we can have a look at this navbar, right? We can break this down, which is really nice. So if you can see on this left side, we've got this navbar, which is I spoke about this quite a few times in previous streams about Figma's auto layout feature. In my opinion, it's like one of the best it's one of the best features that it offers. It offers like a really nice dynamic way to like manage your content, and you can switch things around. So look at these two frames. So these are like the two children inside of a Flexbox, and in a similar way you can just swap these around. They dynamically swap around like that. You can rearrange content really easily, and then, you know, let's say within this, say you want to switch some things around, we can switch around this light and dark mode button with that content. Kind of going a step further, you can even just rearrange the actual like order of things as far as those go. So, you know, it's just super quick to kind of get going with things. And yeah, I'm a big fan of using it. I don't know what that is. Okay, that's sorted. So essentially this is what we want. So we can actually look at this and we can say, okay, we've got a Flexbox. So we've created that. This Flexbox has two elements in it right now. Cool. So let's do that. And as far as things go on mobile, we're gonna have to like kind of maybe do a bit more like logic and stuff like that, but we can kind of figure that out when we get to it. So let's just focus on what we want to do here first of all. Excuse me. So we've got two elements in this. So essentially we're going to have our logo, which we already have actually. So if we go into our, is in our assets, yeah, logo.js. So we can just call that. So you can just do logo, and I'm spelling in all capitals. I can't remember if was it a named export. I kind of feel like it was. Also, another thing, I feel like I should definitely stick to just one kind of. Yeah, it's a named export. I feel like I should stick to one thing just to avoid any confusion. So again, this is just another like consideration to have. Want to make things easy for ourselves. All right, that's better. Yep, that's all good. And so we've got the logo. So what we can do at this point as well, just to kind of note this, is to justify space between. Gosh, my typing is really atrocious this evening. I do apologize. I'm trying to say justify, which is no good. And so logo, and then what we're going to have is another flex box, essentially, which at this time we want this to be, so again, in the spirit of keeping things semantic, if we look at this on the right hand side, you know, this these links are a list, so it's an unordered list, so we want to put this flex as UL, and as I mentioned before, this will render as UL, but we'll have flex CSS properties on it, which is, for me, it's just a really useful feature of Chakra UI. So we can have that flex as UL, and now each one of these things inside it will render as like a list item. So yeah, it's kind of cool like that. And we actually have like a, excuse me. So what we have is, I'm pretty sure we have like a list item. Yeah, we have a list item thing here, which is kind of nice. So we can keep things semantic like that. We can also, like, if we wanted, we could use the text prop and say text as li. Like, we can do it either way. We've got a bunch of options when it comes to stuff like this. So projects. Oh, again, cannot spell.
Darling, do you want to...
What we might need to do is list star none. So again, what we can just do. Are we good? Let's have a look at what things are looking like right now. My bad. Okay. Seems you forgot. Okay, let's figure out. I'm just trying to figure out what it actually could be. Is like the whole thing not working, or is it just that page? Okay, so there seems to be like an issue with maybe the app.js. I don't know, maybe let's double check that everything's all good. I suppose we're wrapping all our pages in this, so if there's something wrong here, then yeah, of course it's going to be going wrong. Let's just make sure that we've rendered things properly. Oh, it's kind of weird like why it chooses to import things differently. I wasn't having this issue before, but anyway. So yeah, that's not doing it. Let's have a look back at our. Okay, what we can do, let's just run. Oh yeah, let's like start that back up. Are we getting any useful error messages or? Okay. What I'm going to try and do, I'm just wondering if it's this layout thing. I don't know, sometimes this might happen. So that's still not working. I've got a feeling, was it when I tried to bring in the list items? What was this going to be in Navbar? I had to think about that for a second there. My bad. So it's something to do with the list item, which is interesting actually. Is it because, no, it's not because I didn't bring it in, so I can't really figure out what went wrong there, which is interesting. We've got that still showing up, which is good. Interesting. Okay, not to worry. We can just kind of. So we've got this flex as URL. Oh, excuse me. And we can just kind of do things this way. Or we can not repeat ourselves, and we can just create like a little constant item equals. We can just return, so we can do an implicit return here. We can just return text, which can obviously just take in some children. Let's check. Okay. And let's just let it take in children there. And it's going to be an li text styles. Can we give it a variant as well? And let's have a look back in our typography file just to check through these text variants. So we can just give it like a like body. I might actually give that like a 600. I think that's what we changed it to in the design file. I'm going to go through separately in a separate stream as well, and actually make sure that we've got everything synced up design wise in our theme object to make sure that all the styles are consistent. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to get to sort of writing things. So variant we can put as just being body, which I think is probably lowercase like that. Yeah, cool. So we can actually just say now, instead of all these text, these will now all be items. So it's quite simple that, and then we can just give them the names. And it's a Shift Alt if you want to duplicate anything, if anyone's curious about that, but I'm guessing quite a lot of people will know this. So let's just save that and see what we get. Okay, so what we need to do also is just change list style to none. Let's do it here. List style type none. And then we can do as well, we can just give it margin right of like 0.5 rem, just 8 pixels. Maybe 1 rem would do. Yeah, that's fine. So we've got that kind of set up now. And then So let's look back at our design file and see how we're doing. So yeah, okay. Ooh, let me just have a look at... Hey, welcome Dave, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I hope you're well. We're just building out some portfolio stuff right now, using Next.js and Figma for the design. So this is our design file here, and right now we're just building out our first feature, which is the homepage. And currently we're kind of building this little page wrapper that's going to allow us to like wrap each of our page routes. So I'm not sure if you've used it or if you're using Next.js, but they've got this really cool, like, obviously dynamic page routing. So I can go to each of these routes, and I've got this wrapper around each page now. So as you can see, as I change the pages, I'm, able to see this nav bar on each page, that kind of idea. So I'm building that out right now, and just trying to figure out things as I go, really. So what we're trying to essentially do is just to get things looking like this. We're trying to get the nav bar looking like this anyway. I'm not going to be getting onto the rest of this today because I'm going to be heading off in a short while. But yeah, this is going to be my aim. And I think, what's the actual size of this icon? Okay, 3952. Cool. Okay, cool. Ah, I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, I just enjoy sometimes sitting down and watching some streams sometimes, like, as well. Maybe someday you get back into it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It kind of just started as like a little hobby for me. In like the first lockdown last year, I just needed something to keep me busy, and I just got more and more into it, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So, right, so what we want to do next is to basically create. We kind of want to create. We want to allow ourselves to have this like light mode toggler on any page as well. So let's get that set up as well. Actually, the best thing would be to do is do that. So what we can do here is, okay, so it's like this idea of, again, thinking in flex. So thinking kind of dynamically here. This kind of might look a bit confusing, but what we're letting ourselves do here is just create like another layer. So now we can create like an icon button, actually. And what we can do is that we can now present an icon, which we need to import right now. So let's go to the imports. We're going to import from React icons. So I believe, okay, no, it's just React icons. Oh, I need to be explicit about this. I need to give it a folder. I think it's IO, yeah. So this is ion icons or ionicons, and we want the. So we can actually just go to React icons here, which I really enjoy doing. I'm just going to tab through. Okay, no, this is a long way to tab through. Oh no, what happened? Oh, there we go. I don't know which is which, to be honest. Okay, icons 5. What's the difference? Okay. low cost. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool. Play with C#. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. It's coming up to like a year since I first started. I started in HTML, CSS, basic JavaScript, and then just kind of built out from there. Like, I think once I felt comfortable with HTML and CSS, I really went into JavaScript, and for ages I wanted to get into React, but I knew that I needed to have a bit of a kind of stronger like fundamental sort of understanding of JavaScript. So I held back for a while. Eventually got into it, and now here I am, just kind of just trying to push myself further with it, and also like contemplating doing full stack as well. But right now I'm more focused on front end. So I'm just building up projects like this one to kind of just get my skills up, and just to kind of better understand the whole JavaScript ecosystem. I think it's kind of my main aim with this. So what we're looking for right now is, can we search for things? Let's search for a moon icon and a sun icon actually as well. I'm searching for IO. Yeah, I think we're looking for the outline. That's cool. So IO moon outline. So that's what we're looking for. So what's cool about this is that we can is that the one we're looking for? Okay, let's try IO5. I don't seem to be getting. Okay, here we got moon. Oh, I see an outline somewhere. That's a cloud. Okay, let's have a look at IO5. I might have to go back in and type this stuff out. Oh, there we go. I've just seen it. Moon outline. Cool. So we want that, and we also want like maybe like a sun outline or something. Okay, sunny outline. Okay, cool. What we can do now is, do we have that color mode prop? No, we don't. So we need to actually bring in a hook here. I'm gonna say const color mode. There's two things we need to do. Color mode, actually, I can actually be quite lazy here, and I can just copy and paste this from, if we still have it, yes we do. So I'm gonna just copy and paste that, and actually let me take that as, so I'm gonna take both of them. I know there's a way you can copy two things at once. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And we can just paste those in here. Right, I've seen a message. What's that? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not been like the easiest, of journeys, I suppose I could call it. There's definitely been many times, especially early on, when I just wanted to kind of, call it a day and maybe just leave it at a hobby. But something just kept me coming back every time. I think that was just this idea that, you can, if you put your mind to it, you can kind of build, like, you can think something up, and then you can actually like bring that into existence. And there's so many tools that you can use, but I think the community around it, and how supportive like people are just generally across the board. I mean, of course, yes, you have people that, always, aren't always so encouraging and things like that. But I think that's the same for anything, right? But I feel like in terms of community, code is a very inclusive community. I think naturally, especially for like newer developers, supporting newer developers. I think the support I got from the community really like helped me to kind of just keep pushing through when the doubts and stuff came. Imposter syndrome. I think we all know about that one. So I'm super grateful for like all of that support, and so that kind of just kind of kept me going. And obviously there was also like a lot of sort of self-motivation that had to be had, and I had to really push myself at times. But yeah, it's definitely helped me out. So yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is like, I'm going to just create like this light and dark mode button basically. And I want it to programmatically change on light and dark mode. So what we can do here is we can say like color mode equals light. So if the color mode is equal to light, then we want to serve it this this Io moon outline. Otherwise we want to give it this sunny outline, and then we actually want to make sure that things are accessible as well. So we want to give it an ARIA label, and in the same way as well. I mean, I don't know, I've never really known how much importance obviously this bears, but for me with this assistive technologies, I'm kind of learning through like research and things that the best practice is to never assume, and to never assume, okay, like people using screen readers probably won't need to know whether it's light or dark mode. I just kind of like to stay in the practice of if there's any kind of buttons or anything that changes the functionality of a page, to let the screen reader know about it. So that's why I'm doing that even here. So color mode, yes, if the color mode is light. But again, like I'm kind of open to kind of like feedback if people have obviously got some experience and they actually say, well, actually no, it's probably better if you don't do that, then, and give some reasoning for that. Then I'm kind of open to that as well. So yeah, if it's light mode, what we're going to say is just toggle. We're going to say toggle dark mode. Oh. So toggle dark mode. And then here we'll have toggle. I should probably just have it like that. I think for now that should be suitable. And then also we want to give it an on click. And what's nice about this is that we can just pass in this toggle color mode immediately and save it. And okay. Ah, my bad. Wrong component. Okay. That's funny. We've got like a weird theme thing going on here. Okay. But that's cool. We've generally got what we're looking for. We can fix this up later as well. What I'm going to do, yeah, I kind of like disobeyed myself when I said I was going to kind of round off. I just wanted to go on for a bit longer. So we want to align items center. So we've got this align shorthand. As you can see, when we do that, things align a bit more. It's not fully centered though, but that's because we need to align everything. So actually, we don't need to align there actually. we need to align here. That's better. And what we need to do on this at this point actually is we need to bring in this padding. So, so we've got like all of these different padding options. Are these all minus values? Yeah, they are. That brings in that padding quite a bit. You know what? I've completely forgotten that they are links. Guys, you like probably watching this thinking, "Oh, what's he doing?" These items are not supposed to be just text. So if I go down to this item component, actually, it's supposed to render a it's supposed to render a link. So I'm just trying to think of how we can do this. Let's check out the Chakra UI docs. It's probably the best place to go if we're in doubt. If ever in doubt. Okay, I've just put char, which is obviously not helpful. Let's oh, CSS variables, that's new. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by things. I'm always like when I see new things. Chakra UI. Oh, wow, you started that young? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Wow, that's inspiring. Wow, that's really impressive. Yeah, that's really cool, Dave. Ready for navigation. Yeah, so cool, and I'm just trying to. I don't have much about using it with Next Link. I can't remember, like, let's have a look at Next Link. Yeah, okay. There's a way we can do this. I'm gonna try it. Let's import link from here. If I can remember, we'll go for it. What I'm going to do is just, that's going to shout at me in a second. Next link. Is that right? Next link. Oh. Why isn't it liking me? Is it like that? I don't trust it. But we'll see. I don't trust it there. This way. Oh, I shouldn't have shut down Chakra. Ah, yes, no, that seems it might be correct. Let's see if this works. It works with reach link, but I don't know if it's going to work with. Oh, that's nice, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That's what I like about programming, is that like you know there's so much to get into. You can get lost in it in like a nice way. And so you know I definitely get that. Yeah, that's really nice for sure. So let's change this. Actually, no, we can keep that as link. That's fine. That's fine. Let's get rid of my second cursor. What we're going to say is link as. I didn't say. Did I say next link? Okay, I'm going to say link as next link. I'm going to hope this works. What I'm going to then say is href. And now this is where we have to pass something in to. We have to kind of pass something into. Well, I'm just going to say it's href equals href, and then what I can do. Is passing this href prop. Gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So now I can just say href dot slash. Not dot slash, slash about. No. Sorry, that's wrong. Yeah. Let's hope that works. Sorry, I keep hitting this mic. It's my bad. Okay, so we're not navigating away as of yet. I can't remember if they have like. Let's have a look. Is there a way we can work with a link? No. Okay, that's okay. No worries. Okay, can we do something? No. Let's see if that works now. Okay, it doesn't look like. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, can I not do this on? Let's try this then. I forget we can just call it whatever. My bad. Okay, let's actually undo a couple of things. I think that's probably the problem we're facing. Didn't seem to be throwing an error before, even though it probably should have. That's okay. Let's kind of get rid of a couple of things here. Let's try this now. That should run alright, and then we should hopefully navigate. No, okay, we're not navigating. down. Yeah, there we go. But the only thing is that now we now lose our styling, which is what I didn't want to happen. Let's have a look at this Chakra UI link. Ooh, conflict. So it seems that we have a solution here. This is from a while ago, but it should apply the same. Let's try that, and hopefully, we can check to make sure we're not getting any kind of duplicate CSS. The last thing we want is to have. So what we can actually just do here is have our href here. And then we can have our link component, put the CSS back on it, and then put the children inside that, which seems to be the way they've done it. Okay, so that children still gets like passed in there, which is lovely. So let's try that. Okay, and we're still navigating. And what we can do is just check the HTML here, just to kind of ensure. So as you can see, there's no duplication, which is great. Cool. So that solves that. What we also want to do quickly is be able to use our fonts across all of our pages, as I mentioned before. I didn't actually do it though, and we can just quickly just do that now. So what I'm hoping that we can do, which would be amazing, which is just to reference it once up here. We can leave that. Let's see if we can do that. We're gonna work, yeah. So that works. That's awesome, cool. So this works across every page now. We don't have to bring those fonts into every page. That's the whole idea I was mentioning earlier, but just the reusability side of things. So things aren't looking too bad. This kind of needs a lot of changing. Let's have a look at what it looks like full screen. Yeah, I don't really know why our icon button is looking like so, but we can again look at that maybe in some more depth. I think it's to do with the default styles of our actual button, and I think it's taking I'm going to very curiously try something actually. Let's go to that button and let's just turn the variant. I'm going to try primary themed. I just want to see if it actually adopts those button styles. Is that purple? I can't tell. Yeah, it does adopt those. That's nice, but we'll just keep it as normal for now. So we can give it a secondary variant, maybe might make things look a bit more like a bit better. No, I kind of prefer. Right, okay, let's just do a little bit of CSS then. We can make it secondary and maybe override some stuff, like make the BG. Yeah, what we can do is just, we can change this later to be a bit more kind of less verbose, I suppose is the right word. We can change that later though. So on light, we want the background to be like a neutral, like 100, like 1 or 200, just very light. And then dark mode wise, we want it to be like neutral 600 or something maybe. Okay. So we should be able to add that override. Now we're gonna have to do something for the color. So this is the only thing about like not having things set default. Just color and color mode light. Let's swap those around. Or this can be like 700 and that can be. There's a lot of things that we have to kind of sort out with that. Let me just try and make sure the box size is like 1.5 rem. Is that 24? 1 rem is 16. Yeah, 1.5 rem. That's better. It's making things look less weird. Things are looking weird. We need to kind of add a bit more padding around that. Oh, that's nice. I like this beat. Yeah, I don't think that's added any more padding whatsoever. Let's make the box size like 2 rem or something. Yeah, I thought. Oh, sorry. I need to find a better solution. To how I'm using this thing, but just make sure. Okay. So yeah, things are not optimal right now. What I'm going to do for now is actually just get rid of all this variant stuff. We can fix all that up later. What I'm just trying to do right now is just trying to think of how to get more padding around this. Okay. Because what I'm trying to do is just like try that. That's going to be quite a lot, right? That's so weird. Well, anyway, we'll leave it as is, and or actually what we can do is just maybe try and get these down to 125. Okay, not exactly how we originally envisioned it, but nice. Okay, that's cool then. That's okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I just like I can't really tell how loud it is, but I know that usually whenever I hit it, it kind of makes a bunch of noise. But thanks for that feedback. That's great. So yeah, as you can see, we've got things updating dynamically, which is really nice. And so yeah, so we still need to kind of fix this button, basically. I'm kind of very curious as to, yeah, finding a way to change this icon button across our application. But then again, like, it doesn't look bad like this. I think maybe I'm just kind of thinking more of like border, maybe get like 2px. Let's just override what we've got. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Another issue that we're getting as well is that our list elements are not receiving focus, so we have to kind of figure out what's going on there. One thing we can do though before we do go, so I'm just going to add an ID to this. We can do our skip link, and I'll just put skip. I'm going to jump into another project real quick and just grab some duplicate code because, you know, it's quick. Like, who wants to be writing that stuff again? I don't. Let's go to, so this is my portfolio version 1. So I go to, trying to remember where I had it. It would have been under maybe components or something. Okay, that's just my standard button. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so we've got this stuff that I want to take. Does it need to be a tag? I don't think so. Maybe it does. Probably does. Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah, it's an anchor tag. Yeah. Cool. So we can just copy that. Cool. href as a cool. Wow, excuse me, I'm yawning. So what we can actually just do is render like a button right now. So we can render skip to content. We'll give it as a prop. Then href is gonna be skip. So let's see if that works. Oh, that's weird. I put it under the navbar for some reason. Oh damn! Whereabouts are you based, if you don't mind me asking? Czech Republic. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome, man. Seems like a really cool place. Yeah, it'd be cool to visit there one day. Yeah, I need to hit bed soon. I've got work in like 6 hours, so it's not going to be too much of a long sleep for me, but that's all right. Let's get to the content. Cool. So yeah, we're skipping over these links, which we don't want to do. Cool, okay. That's cool. Right, so I think we're gonna leave things here and yeah, I had something similar with the school I went to. I know you're talking about the actual country. Okay. Or are you talking about school? That's funny. Cool. So yeah, we made some good progress. Let's make some commits now, just so that we don't lose any of the work we've done. So I'm just gonna say let's add some commits here. So conventional commits, kind of chory stuff. Move files. favicons to folder. That's all gone. Yeah, go on. Let's just do this one. Let's put it under style. Talk about school since. Right, yeah, man, that's tough. Yeah, that must be tough to like learn in such a different kind of environment. Cool. What did I do with that? So what I'm going to say here is just create basic page wrapper. So we'll leave it as is. So I'm just going to say add basic page container. So that's all committed now. Cool. So next time round, that's going to aim to be tomorrow. Is apparently even for yeah. I mean, I'm an introvert myself. I would say I am most of the time anyway. And yeah, you know, we had it over here for a while in the UK. We're only just coming out of it now, kind of our long second wave. So yeah. Just hoping that, you know, things can kind of be on the up from here. So I'm just trying to figure out what else I need to do. Yeah, so we've got the basic container structure done, and now next time we're going to be looking at kind of getting the navbar looking closer to this, and then we're going to be looking at creating our footer as well, which this shouldn't take too long. Should be quite straightforward. And then we can look at building out features between hopefully now and then. I mean, that'll be some point tomorrow. I'm going to try and hopefully get some design work done so I can get a better idea of how this is going to work, because I'm just not entirely sure yet on how I might want things to look. So yeah, gonna be doing some more building hopefully tomorrow, and yeah, made some fairly decent progress today, and yeah, it'll be good to kind of get back in and progress things even more. But so yeah, today we set up. Let's look at what we did actually. Oh, went too far. Oh, not wrong place. So we built that. We kind of built the navbar. We haven't really built the foot yet. So. Well, we created page routes. These two, I'd say, are in progress. So got half of the stuff done that we wanted to. So that's good. So yeah. Also, Dave, if you're interested, I've also started up a little Discord community. So feel free to join that. Link is... You're already there. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for joining that. Yeah, I'm still kind of setting up, and I've got a couple of things to... okay, awesome. I see you there. Yeah, I can see you there. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we'll be sort of giving updates on when I'm going live, and hopefully maybe even some Discord specific stuff will be cool as well. So just to kind of chat about, like, you know, like web dev things and other cool things that like interest people. I'm kind of always curious to find out what other people are working on and what other people are up to as well. So, but it would just be a nice space to kind of like offer up like resources and just to kind of discuss certain topics and stuff. So awesome stuff. But I'm gonna round off here and yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. That's cool. No, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna aim to kind of be streaming kind of like most nights this week. So like, you know, I'll be on around the same time tomorrow. I mean, you know, probably a bit earlier tomorrow, to be honest. I'll probably be on a bit earlier. But I'll kind of update all of that in the Discord from now going forwards. So yeah, you should know like at some point tomorrow when I'm going live. But if not tomorrow, then you know I'll be live most days this week. So just whenever you can sort of catch a stream, that'd be cool. And yeah, we look forward to kind of catching you in there and chatting on there as well. So I'm gonna round off for the evening with all this stuff. So like I said, we made some good progress. We've created this wrapper now that we have on each page, and we now have navigation to each of those pages in the form of a navbar. Styling's not entirely there yet. There's a couple of bits we still need to do. We need to work on the footer as well, so we'll get that all done. And my very last thing that I wanted to do actually was just to add these as issues of things to do. So let's go to Portfolio V2. So I've got a Zen Hub thing here, which is kind of nice. We can just create new issues within GitHub, and what I'm going to say is amend icon button styling. To fit design spec, basically. Right, cool. And I'm going to try and get that done. I should probably start creating sprints and stuff as well to kind of push myself to kind of get things done. In terms of like roadmap, we've actually got that set out now. So we're aiming to have this finished and completed by the 14th of May. I kind of roughly started it about 2 weeks ago, so it would be a month in total, which I think is like enough time to build a project. Like that's not that, like, I mean, a small project. I think, you know, I feel like it's quite doable. We'll obviously see how we go, and, you know, things are always sort of subject to change. So if they are, we can change that accordingly. But for now, I'm just going to stick with that. So, cool. So, yeah, do we need to create any other new issues? Yeah, that's the kind of main issue that I'm going to kind of reference right now. So the rest of it, here we are. Cool. Anyway, thanks so much for joining, everyone. Thanks for joining, Dave. And yeah, we'll catch you definitely in the next one. And that will hopefully be tomorrow evening, where we'll be looking at sort of extending the work we've done today, building out that footer, sort of amending the necessary changes for the navbar, and then actually starting on the homepage as well, but that will probably be a bit later in the week. But tomorrow we're going to just tackle getting that wrapper finished and ready, so that we, you know, like other pages can go into that. So that's the idea. Anyway, Thanks so much. Take care, everyone, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.